Hello, you are tuning in to sjs.radio. This is Senior Talk, the show where we pick seniors' brains on real life and school life. I am your host, Walterlin, and joining me today is Jonathan Soto.
Hello. Thank you so much, Walter.
Of course, Jonah, I'm glad to have you here today.
Great to be here.
All right, okay, Jonah. So, how has your senior year been so far?
Senior year, wow. Honestly came really quick.
Right.
Remember just thinking a couple years ago, like, wow, look at like those kids with the different shirts. Like,
It's crazy.
couldn't even imagine being a senior now. Just a couple months away from going to college,
Yeah, man.
graduating.
Like for me, it literally felt like 10th grade, and from there, we were seniors. Wearing these purple shirts out here with the senioritis, feeling all good. But
I'd say the pandemic hit quick like that.
no, yeah, it's
It
definitely
was from 10th grade, skip to senior year, just like that.
Change like the course. I feel for us and really the high school life. And so I feel like we had a very different experience too.
Changed it for the better, I'd say.
No,
We
definitely. Like we
definitely had a different high school experience than
right.
what most high schoolers go through.
And what I think is that like it really reshaped our perspective because we went through a lot of stages being alone, and we learned how to face life alone, and just how to really operate without seeing people, without interacting with you face to face. And I feel like the future is almost trending in that sort of a direction. So how would you put it? I feel like that's almost early training for us. Getting us ready for the world tomorrow, and something kind of teaching you how
Yeah,
to be alone.
I definitely think like every business, like I feel like most, like everyone just kind of realized, like even businesses, they realize like we don't need to be like everything doesn't need to go in person, and how just the online, it like opened a lot of doors for people.
Exactly.
Everything, like
Exactly.
we found out everything can be done through online. We don't have to.
No, yeah, like one of the jobs I started recently, started selling knives for this company. So
The
second
Cutco,
semester,
right?
senior year, I'm trying to like get some jobs, start working a little bit, and all the demonstrations we do have been virtual, and all the operations, the team meetings, and I feel like it's the next step of society. It's like I can work with people from Texas, divisions, and I just think it makes life a lot more efficient. And I would say if it weren't because of the pandemic, maybe this transition would have happened in another decade or so.
Yeah, definitely.
And so
Helps
yeah,
a lot also with the whole networking. You get to meet a lot of people you would have never met a couple years ago, just because
definitely.
now everyone's online, everyone's doing the Google Meets, the Skypes.
Yeah, speaking of online, there's been a lot of commotion and hype recently around NFTs, non fungible tokens.
Nah, yeah.
And we've definitely spoken about this before. So, what are your thoughts on NFTs and initial opinions?
The whole non-fungible token, it's just such a big like space that I feel a lot of people are like
Right.
really ill-informed about, and they think it's
Mhm.
just a cash grab, a money scheme. And there's definitely a lot of like that definitely comes with it. There's definitely like the bad parts of it, but I think there's definitely a lot of potential in the whole non-fungible token, and I definitely think it's the future, if I'm being honest. Like,
Right. Like I agree. It's just that it's such a weird concept, and for us people who look at real things every day, who like to deal with tangible things we understand. It's really hard for us to accept that the market or the world can be shifting onto something so intangible. So but I agree with you. I definitely feel like that is the future. Extreme potential. It's just how careful we are. We don't want to overvalue it or undervalue it, but it's something pretty nice to have during our time, our generation.
we just said it. Everything's
Exactly,
moving online.
everything
Like,
moving, and partially I feel like that the pandemic also really really boosted it and sped it up the
yeah.
process. I don't think NFT would have been a big thing until 2026. By the time we graduate college, if it weren't for the pandemic. But
And it comes hand in hand with the whole Bitcoin, Ethereum, and
Definitely crypto.
the whole cryptocurrencies.
Definitely no. But but that's just kind of the stuff you get into as a senior. Like being a senior right now. Like obviously, I've been going through some senioritis. I already got into university, so that's a big load off my shoulder. But a part of senioritis for me isn't just feeling like a senior. It's almost feeling like an adult. It's the feeling that okay, right now if I want to learn something, I'm learning it to get new information for myself. I'm not learning it for school anymore. Like let's say I would get into Bitcoin, crypto, like NFTs and all that kind of stuff. I started doing stocks on Robinhood, and these things are just things that I found the opportunity to do because of the new time I'd found from not doing school stuff.
Yeah.
I put less of an emphasis on what I do in school and more on myself and bettering myself as a person, not just a student. So
Tell me more about the senioritis. What do you mean by like?
senioritis, like it's something that happens every year. Second semester, people get into college, your grades stop counting, and obviously, what's in our heads,
Loose.
you just gotta graduate, and that's game. That's it. We're done. But
This senior year, I've really been like no like I've noticed. We take on a lot more responsibility.
definitely.
A lot of us start turning 18. And
And it's different. Like taking on jobs,
a lot of
doing
us
more
start
things
taking
outside.
jobs,
Exactly.
extracurriculars. More stuff to lead us to our future. Things that we really
Yeah.
want to do with our lives.
Exactly, and I think that is a great point because if you think about it, like when we were younger, a lot of the things we did, extracurriculars or
It's just-
interests, it was for college at the end of the
And
day.
a lot of it's what
You
we're
know,
told to do.
It's what our parents want us to do. It's almost in a way superficial and like useless.
Yeah.
Because if I don't want to do it, then after I do it for college or whatever, I'm gonna stop. And now that I'm a senior, now that I'm committed in college, what I want to learn, what I take on, what I research, what I learn about is something I'm passionate about. And so I feel like that changes the whole scale, the whole scheme of really going out there and trying to get new information. It really changes the whole deal. Like so I'll have the time to do stuff I want, and I feel like that will make me a better person, a better
Yeah.
me, obviously, at the end of the day.
How do you feel that people look at us now as we're seniors? Especially the teachers, other students. We have a
Yeah.
whole responsibility. We kind of have to set an example now that we're seniors.
Oh yeah, that's the crazy part because like it doesn't feel like it, but 2 years ago, like that was kind of the direction I looked at. Like if I was doing something I didn't know how to do, I would look at a person with a black shirt, the seniors. I'll see what they're doing and
You
copy
learn
that.
off them.
Exactly, and
Right.
now at this point, we are those role models, obviously, and taking on that responsibility is not something. It's almost in my opinion, it's almost a privilege, because you get that respect and they confide in you. They trust what you do. They trust your actions,
Yeah.
your words, and your results at the end of the day.
You have to be more careful.
Exactly, definitely. And what you say, like, it almost values a little more just because you're a senior. So,
And
that's-
back to the whole, now that we're going off to college,
yeah.
it's really time for, I feel like, now we're going into like turning 18, soon we'll be 20s, going into our 20s, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it's really just time for you to like explore yourself, find like what you like, and it's time to like push yourself to the limits, like
Exactly.
see what
just-
you can do, like I feel like that your 20s, like that's the age that you really gotta like, push yourself. You're young, like see what you can do, see what
Mhm.
you can create, like see your limits,
And that progression, it happens in a very different manner, I feel, because in school it's an institution. An
Yeah.
institution adheres to very specific and very straight rules, a system, a course, almost, like a coursework, a framework. And we follow that framework because obviously we learn, we want to get good grades. We follow it academically, and look, we've gotten so used to that tunnel vision. What we're gonna see at the end of the road is something very, very basic. We're gonna see a letter grade or something.
Yeah.
But now, like, what we see is like, wow, I understand how to do this. When there's little things that, like, here and there, I feel like I'm an adult, and whoa, I know how to do these things I might use later on in real life, and it's a whole different. It's a really different feeling because
It's a whole new dynamic.
it changed from a responsibility to a desire almost,
Yeah.
like and based off of, like, what you said, college, like, wow, college, that's an opportunity for
That's
you
crazy.
to redefine who you are. You're a whole new person. You're living in a whole new place.
Are you ready for
You're
it?
surrounded by a whole new people. I don't know if I'm ready, but one way to find out, like, as of right now, I don't want to think too much about it because I want to make the best of my time here, left with you guys and with my family in Puerto Rico. And
I honestly feel like it really hasn't hit me yet. The whole,
Yeah?
I'm going off to college. I'm about to leave. I'm not gonna, I'm just really trying to appreciate the last moments we have here. But I would say it has yet to really hit me.
No, definitely. Well, like, when you're going off to college, like, what assets do you think you're gonna take with you? Or
Right.
just, like, in general in life, what parts are you gonna take with you to college?
Like my essentials, you'd say.
No, I say, like, what parts of your life right now, your current life, would you take with you to your new life in college, or just or just new life in general?
Well,
Maybe
I'd say
habits, things you like to do, and stuff like that. Things that you value a lot.
I feel like I definitely value a lot my friends and my family,
Mm-hmm.
and I also I kind of applied like northeast area,
Mm-hmm.
places
Well,
where I also know like I know I'm not gonna be completely alone. I'll always have
you
my
got some
friends, my
around
family
there,
around. Like
yeah.
really value like my family, my friends. I feel like so it's really important in life.
No, definitely. So recently, there's how there's been a lot. It was All-Star weekend last week for basketball, and
Steph Curry.
yeah, man, it's crazy. So, how do you think the sport's been going on in St. John's, and how do you see the progression of St. John's as an institution athletically, and how do you think that the respect or their image has changed among Puerto Rican schools these last couple of years?
Well, I definitely say that St. John's has gotten, I'd say, more respect-wise in the athletic community. I feel like before, we definitely had some success, but more recently we've had some championship teams that have been able to do a lot.
Yeah,
We've also recently just bought a whole new building in Condado. Hopefully,
exactly.
more athletics will open up over there, more facilities.
Oh yeah, and that's
I'd honestly
something-
say we're pretty lucky. I'd say we probably
Mhm.
have one of the best facilities, especially for a school.
Yeah, and that's something I really want to take pride in because at the end of the day, we're all, whether let's say you're the MVP or you're a role player, like you're a part of a team, and I feel like St. John's really cultivates that feeling, because like we weren't always a winning school athletic wise, but recently we've been really just trying to get better and being really inclusive with our players because we accept things are not how obviously San Ignacio San Jose, like things are not really close at times, that we have different interests and different purposes. So I feel like St. John's has really opened the scale of how students should look at athletics and how students should merge it and how that would intersect with your academics. So I feel like we're taking steps in the right direction. Also, have you heard about the new gym, the lifting gym gonna start?
They're gonna
Yeah, in
build a
the
new one,
pit,
right?
exactly, and that's gonna be like for actual, really athletic driven students who
Yeah.
will pursue like scholarships and that kind of stuff. And
Really, that's
yeah, I
good.
like in that sense I like really the progress school is making. But yeah, no, it's really great to see everything happening in the sports world recently. But,
The sports recently, like this semester has been, first semester did we have any sports in St. John's first semester?
no, yeah, we actually did. We had I had volleyball, but obviously 11th
You know,
grade we didn't have
you know,
anything
but even
during.
this semester, a lot was postponed or
Yeah,
even
postponed,
canceled.
canceled. Well, Jonah, I have a question for you. How do you think you're an athlete yourself, obviously? How do you think these sports have really affected your academics? Because obviously in 11th grade you did not have any sports, and you were able to experience a academic school only environment where you're in your room every day playing video games and schoolwork, and that's that. So how do you think this year, now that
You
everything's
know,
back, athletics are back?
I'd say some people can see it as athletics. It's time away from time you could be using from studying and time
Right.
you could be using for academics.
Mhm.
But I feel like that time I use for athletics is essential. It's always been
Right.
essential. Like especially that 11th grade, I felt it. Like I felt like
Mhm.
even though I'm supposed to have more time for my academics, for my work, but it's just like I'm home all day in my room. It's
Right.
just
Right.
you're
Right.
not motivated. You need to go out.
It's a part of your schedule. It's a part of who
I
you
needed
are.
it. It was a necessity, and without it, I just kind of felt like, you know, sort of like not lost but unmotivated. Like
Right. Yes.
I feel like everyone just needs that, even if it's athletics or any kind of sport or just that one thing that you can go, just relieve like
I
just
get
that.
that. Maybe it's for a lot of people too, but for me specifically, I feel like athletics are almost a gateway at times.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm stressed after
Get your
school,
mind clear.
I take a ball, go to Barbosa, or I hit you up and we go together. And, that's just a really nice little sesh to clear my mind and get me, like, focused. Like, okay, now let me start again. I had my, like, I almost, it feels like a workout. I
And
got some
you really
sweat out.
focus on yourself throughout it. You're working on being better than the only person you're trying to be is
Exactly.
yourself when you're out there playing
Exactly.
sports.
So I feel like, no, I feel like athletics is a very important a very important aspect of student life and just life in general. And I feel like we've done a much better job just including it in our routine after the pandemic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's definitely
I was glad, the school was pretty quick to start the whole movement, get practices going.
Right.
I think they saw that we needed it. They feel like the school knows that we're a long time away from it. They knew to
hmm
be quick on it.
definitely. No, but I think overall this year, well, obviously, we had the meeting the other day talking about how students are really unmotivated, a lot of stress, depressed, a lot of issues with anxiety and load management with their work. So, what do you think is some of the main factors that are causing this within our grade and causing this discontent and disconnection with our students, our senior class, and the school?
Well, I feel like definitely a lot of it comes from what we all experienced last year, the whole pandemic. The whole world is changing and
Right.
we're changing with it.
Mhm.
We're all about to leave the college. That comes with it's like stupendous amount of stress. We're all also, a lot of people are, they're still kind of lost. Everyone's
Mhm.
not really ready to people also get really nervous about picking a major. That's not like major doesn't like mean that's all you're gonna be doing, and like,
Exactly.
that doesn't like
Exactly.
you can always switch majors too. A lot of people like they think like I feel like a lot of how do you say, a lot of stress comes with going to college and overthinking.
No, yeah, yeah, and definitely, and I feel like a part of everything is a part of the reason is because like what we value now is so different. It's like in the past, like right now, as of right now, my priorities when I get home, it wouldn't be to
Completely
open up a
different.
book and start doing my homework.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna keep my grades good, but it has become a it has become a secondary thing for me. I got
Definitely.
other things I'm thinking about on top of that I feel like have more value to me. And obviously, I'm graduating soon and my education is still important, but I feel like, you know, it's
Definitely, there's a
finding
switch in priorities.
exactly, and finding the balance between your priorities, finding the balance between, for example, in my case, I would be finding the balance between my athletics finding time between my work, and then finding my time between school, and lastly my time with you guys hanging out. Let's say like last weekend going gonki and stuff like that. The balance is what really makes it a beautiful thing being a senior, and I feel like more people have to find that balance, and teachers have to understand and help us find that balance,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day that's essential, having balance in your life, everything, to not overdo one aspect, not underdo another aspect. So no, but I feel like with time our class will definitely figure that out as we go
You know,
along.
definitely
And
comes with time and experience. You know, I feel like that's
yes.
what leads up to us. You know, being seniors comes with time management. Really, like.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do you think you're gonna take with you? Like, what lessons? What have you really learned that you think you're gonna take with you to college?
What lessons? Lessons like life wise, or lessons like from school?
Any kind of lessons, like.
Well, okay. Personally, like one of the biggest lessons I've learned was actually this year. It was through the college application process. What I learned is that sometimes that you want something, you love something blindly, and things happen for a reason. And at the end of the day, you're gonna realize that a failure was a necessary step to that success. Because so as you know, like earlier this year, well, my dream school since I was a kid is Wharton, the
Yeah.
University of Pennsylvania, right? Well, I applied early decision to it. I was obsessed with them. I went to their summer program. I did everything for them.
Yeah,
Like
you
their
were
stock
set. You were set on
competitions, I
going
was
there.
set. Like I had a whole package I believed was like qualified enough for their their fit. And unfortunately, they didn't take me, and that was very very tough on me. And I thought I was done. I
Yeah.
worked my entire life, all my rec letters, everything I do was aimed towards like the package this school was looking for. And I thought that was it for me. I wasn't really looking at any other schools. I wanted this, and that was it. I loved it. And after that, I realized how blindly I was loving it, because I was just going back to ninth grade me, thinking how good it is, just because I think it's good, just because my parents' friends say it's good, my friends say it's good. And it was just it was it felt really oblivious for me.
Yeah.
And I came to the realization that like, why would you love something that you don't know, like something I haven't taken a class there. I don't know people from there. And it just showed me that how blindly you can follow things, and how things will turn out at the end. Because after that, I had a realization. I started writing differently, writing less more about me, and less about like what I want people to think of me, or what I want schools to think about me. And I took that to really open my eyes, and see what's right for me, and what I like about certain schools and places. And who knows, like 2 months later in February, I got accepted to the University of Chicago, which was amazing
Great
news.
school. Yeah.
And like like I just thought to myself, like, wow, like that's really God's work there. I Everything really turned out okay. I thought I was done for, absolutely. Like, I remember crying, thinking that like I don't know what I'm gonna do for college. And 2 months later, everything worked out. And not only did I get into college, my mindset changed. Like the way I see things, the way I see institutions, the way I see systems, like processes, really changed. And I feel like that's one of the biggest lessons I will be taking with me.
That's good. That's good.
No, yeah, definitely. What about you? Like, so what have you really, what do you feel like you've really got out the creme de la creme out of high school?
Out of high school?
Yeah. Just like, I mean, little things here and there you notice, you feel like
But you always take
experiences.
the experiences, those moments with the people you spend, But
Yeah.
I'd say definitely this year I've really noticed that, specifically, pretty recently, like over the pandemic as well. It's tough times for, I'd say, everyone.
Yeah.
And I'd say, just like, and we're all gonna leave. I've been in St. John since the first grade. The friends I've made here friends I hope to keep my whole life. You know, friends that
Definitely.
I've grown like to like almost be like brothers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just really trying to. I've learned to appreciate the moments I have with them. You know, these last couple
Right.
months, and you know, cause you never know. You know, like anything
Whatever
could happen.
happens.
We're all gonna go to college.
Right.
Who knows? But
Getting on a more sentimental and solemn tone, like I wanted to shift the attention to, as you know, what's been going on the other half of the world, and going on in the East, what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Obviously, it's very sad,
it's
and
a horrible situation. Yeah,
it's something very tough to see happening to
definitely feel for all those
definitely to
people
our
involved.
world, happening like something, war, something we are unfamiliar with, but we've studied in our history books, and it's almost scary, and it's disappointing to see that we talk about humans evolving, moving forward, progressing, and we progress so much as to now we end up here. All of that just to go back to where we started, warfare, that barbaric. And I just want to pull up something um that I heard the other day, and I feel like it really made me feel like what's going on with this war. So
Yeah,
it says, "Keep on walking, ain't no stopping. In this dirty, filthy, rotten, nasty little world we call our home." So it's at the end of the day, no matter what happens, whether there's a World War III or whether there's not, us as humans, as people in the society, we just gotta keep walking. There's
you
nothing
know,
we can do.
there's
And
always gonna be war and conflict. I feel like
exactly.
every other couple years we hear some other big war that's going on,
something
some
going
World War
on.
III. You know, I feel like it's inevitable. You know, but
Yeah,
you just
and
can't
it's
let it.
become,
You can't let it take over your life. You know, you can't let it.
That's
Can't let it
exactly
stress
the
over
point
you.
I
too.
want
You
to
shouldn't
get at.
stress over something you really can't deal with.
Control, exactly.
You have no control over it, and you know, some people say like, oh, like how are you not crying for those other people? Like I definitely feel for them, but I have no control over what's happening. I can only control
We can
what I
only
do.
do the most we can to help the situation, raise awareness for that. But and what I really liked about that is that it was a part of a song called "Walking," and it just really shows the endurance and resilience that's implicit in our lives. We don't see it, but sometimes we are going through it, and no matter what happens, we're gonna have to keep going, because like as high schoolers maybe we can, but once we get into real world, like at that point, if there's something we don't like, we can't just sit there and complain. We can't sit there and say, I don't like this, I don't like that. We got to go out, speak about it, you know and just keep going, moving forward. And yeah, in this dirty, nasty, little filthy world we call our home. So but that's definitely something really important we should address today. And I really feel out there for all the poor people suffering because of the actions of few. And well, I'm sending prayers out there for Ukraine and also the entire world. We never know what's gonna happen, what our future could hold. Maybe the next 4 years might be very, very different. And just like the pandemic changed the course of our progression, maybe whatever happens will contribute to us negatively or positively. We never know, but maybe it will just still change and us as a society.
Yeah.
So, well, that's about it for now. But before we go, I wanted to thank you, Jonathan, for being here with me today for this amazing senior talk.
Thank you so much, Walter. This has been a long time coming. I feel
Yeah.
It's a great setup. I've never honestly been here before. It's nice.
It's really nice, and I'm so happy we finally got to do this. We've been talking about this for so long. Well, that's great. For sjs.radio and Senior Talk, this is your host Walterlin. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you.